welcome to my channel. My name is Lubov and today I'll be discussing everything I learned before I bought my property or in the process of buying a property in Dubai. Whether you are planning to move to Dubai or if you want to just invest here, I feel like there's some useful tips that you're gonna hear in this video. So let's get started. As you've probably noticed, a lot of people are moving to Dubai. There are two main aspects that I believe make people come to Dubai. One is the tax-free salaries and second one is safety. There's a lot of other things, like it depends what kind of lifestyle you are after. There's a lot of new openings, there's a lot of activities you can do. The only downside I would say is the weather right now, like throughout the whole summer. But most people who live in Dubai are entrepreneurs or like business owners, so they just travel to Europe during summer, so they don't have any issues with the heat. The first topic I want to cover is the types of properties that you can buy in Dubai, one being freehold and the second one being leasehold. The main difference is that freehold is completely yours. You own the apartment or villa, whatever. You own the land it's on and it's yours. You can sell it, you can rent it, you can do whatever you want with it. The other type is leasehold, which means you only own the property itself for like, I think it's 99 years. While after this period, you can either renew the ownership, which I'm not sure how it works. I'm not gonna live another 99 years. Or it goes back to the owner of the land. So you don't own the land under the property, if that makes sense. I decided to go for freehold. I never even checked any properties that are leasehold just because I don't want to have issues reselling it, renting it later on if I decide not to live here anymore. So that was my decision, and I think most people, most expats are doing exactly that. The second thing is how you're gonna finance your property. Do you want to take a mortgage? Are you a resident? Are you a tourist? Do you want to get golden visa? Do you want to pay cash? There's a lot of options. It depends on your budget, on your plan, and a lot of other things. What I did and what I can discuss on is I took a mortgage. I took the maximum years, which is 25, and I took a fixed rate for 3 years, which was the lowest period of time I could get, just because interest rates are expected to go down soon, hopefully. I thought this is the safest option as of when I was buying. If I have to buy now, so I bought in January, it's been half a year now. If I have to buy now, I'll probably do the same. I don't think much changed since then. I would say prices are a bit up, if not the same. And yeah, I would do exactly the same. Taking a mortgage is very easy if you have a permanent job. I do have a permanent job, so this helped a lot. I just submitted my documents and everything else is done online. I didn't have to meet my mortgage advisor until the very last day when I signed all the papers, and then in a few days I received the final approval. So it's very simplified compared to other countries. I cannot comment on how you would do it if you're not taking a mortgage, if you want to use your cash, or if you have a payment plan. I assume it's different, but I cannot really discuss that because I've not been through the process. Another very important difference is if you're planning to buy a property that's already done, ready to move in, or off-plan property. Now, off-plan, you can get very good deals. The thing is, in Dubai, in general, everything's built very fast, which is good, but also there's been a lot of delays for previous projects. So if it's not urgent for you, if you don't want to move in as soon as possible, if this is not something you're expecting to make money from straight away, then you can look into off-plan properties because there's really good deals. However, I wanted to move in as soon as possible and I wanted to be sure of what I'm buying, if you know what I mean. So I wanted to see it, touch it, rather than expect something that I've only seen the picture of or just the construction side. So I opted for a property that was completed 3 years ago, and that's it. Sorry, I need water. Stay hydrated, guys. Now, when it comes to areas where you're planning to buy, I wouldn't say I could recommend an area just because it's very personal. My only advice is, if you have a job, like if you have a workplace, you're not working remotely, or if you're not a freelancer, whatever, find a property that's close by or in an area that's near your work. Just because Dubai is not big, but the traffic is insane in the last maybe 1 year, I don't know. If you don't mind getting stuck in traffic, of course, buy anywhere, it doesn't really matter. It also affects the cost, of course. Or if you don't go to work, if you just want to buy in a nice area, then you can buy property in an area where you are spending your free time, like going to the gym, if you like a specific gym, or like going to classes, or going to the beach, you like Kite Beach, let's say, or you like JBR Beach. It's very personal, I wouldn't recommend. However, there are areas that are very popular nowadays, for expats especially. Dubai Marina is still number one, I think. I don't understand it. I personally couldn't live there, but that's me. JVC is very popular as well. There's so much going on there now, so many new constructions. It's insane. A lot of people like it, a lot of people go there. If you're looking for something higher end, I would say Palm Jumeirah, Emirates Hills, and downtown. If I had the budget, I would definitely live in downtown. The traffic is still insane, but waking up to the view of Burj Khalifa and the fountain, for me is like, inshallah one day I'll be able to buy a property there. When it comes to developers and agents, my number one recommendation is find a good real estate broker. I was so lucky finding mine, honestly. I would recommend her to everyone and anyone. I already recommended her to 2 of my friends from back home that wanted to invest here, and they're extremely happy. Everything happened so fast. Like, they found the property, they bought it in less than a month, imagine. They didn't take mortgage here though, so the process for them was different, especially if you don't know what you're doing. I had no idea about anything, the process, the documentation, the scams. I didn't know anything, so I wanted to find a person I can trust, and I found it, and I'm very happy that I did that. And second one is, do your research when it comes to developers, because Dubai is growing so fast. There's so many new companies, and the quality is not always the best. When I started looking into apartments, because I wanted to be close to work, I found a few buildings that I liked. They looked very nice, they were new. And then when I started digging, I found out that the quality is really bad. So eventually I gave up on those 2. I didn't even go and see the apartments because I didn't want to deal with maintenance, delays, construction around. So it's very important to do your research. The number one developers, I believe, still in Dubai are Emaar, Shoba, and Ellington in terms of quality and maintenance and everything. There are some others as well, but those are the top 3 that I see people buying and leaving positive reviews. When it comes to legal stuff, I honestly cannot tell you anything because I am a resident, I have a permanent job, and my broker was helping me with the mortgage advisor and banks and everything. So I didn't do much myself, but if you have specific questions, maybe I can answer them. Another difference that comes up in my mind is if you're buying to live there. I think I already mentioned, it depends if you're buying it to live there or you're buying it as an investment, because the area where you're buying would depend also on that. Of course, if you want it for yourself. For example, me, I bought in an area that is close to my job because I didn't want to spend time on the road, stuck in traffic. It's just not for me. However, if I would be buying it for investment purposes, I'll probably choose another area for the same budget. So it all depends what your plan is. But yeah, do your research, don't rush into things. You can always sell again, you can always rent. But the thing is, you've already spent so much money because there is certain fees you need to pay, apart from the broker fee, during the process, that it doesn't make any sense to sell it straight away. That would be a loss for you already. So yeah, take your time. Now that I mentioned fees, there are a lot of fees that you need to pay. And when it comes to fees, I feel like I was lucky again. I'm usually very lucky, but like I signed all the documents and finalized the deal in January, and then they implemented this new law from February. So before, what I did as well, before, the mortgage could also include part of the fees, meaning Dubai Land Department fee, which is 4% of the property amount, and then the 2% that you pay the broker. There were some other charges, NOC charge and something else that I don't really remember. But in total, my mortgage, my bank, was covering 80% of those fees. So I had to pay less out of my pocket, which I find very useful. So you needed 20% down payment, as opposed to now when you need like 26% down payment, which is the 20% plus those fees. There is a small difference in that sense since the beginning of the year, so it's still pretty much the same. I know some countries require 25% or 30%, so it is still doable, it is still a good deal buying a property in Dubai. A big piece of advice from me is don't agree on anything that's not in writing, meaning have everything in your contract, have both sides sign it, seller, buyer, so that you're all aware what's happening. Because what happened to me, and I don't blame anyone, even my agent, she said you were too nice to them. But from now on, I would never let any customer do that without having it in writing, because you never know. So what happened to me was the sellers were in a rush to buy, they needed cash, and they wanted to move to a bigger apartment, renting, not buying, of course. I got the apartment at a very good price, but I had leave planned, so I was home for Christmas, so this delayed the things a bit, like a week or two. But we had previous delay because they never paid their service charges. Service charges are usually sent to you quarterly. However, I still haven't received any, meaning they probably send it once per year. They never paid those service charges and they didn't have any money. So what I offered to do is to pay the service charges for them and then deduct this from the total amount, which is fine. We put it in the contract. It was fine. That's not the issue. So I was very nice to them. But then because they were in a rush for money, when I went home for the holidays, they were notified. They knew I'm coming back end of December. However, I feel like they got annoyed because they urgently needed the money and they were just waiting for me to come back and finalize everything. So I was like, why are you pushing? You were the one that delayed the deal in the first place because you never said you have outstanding service charges, and without paying those service charges, you cannot get the NOC from the developer, so you cannot sell your apartment. So I did them a favor. Anyway, when I came back, we finalized the process and everything, and then because their broker was also really, really bad, so my broker was like kind of helping him, navigating him. So the day before the deal, she texted him and said, listen, don't forget all the keys, all the cards, everything for tomorrow, for the day of the transfer. To which he replied, what do you mean? And she's like, well, tomorrow we're signing the deal. They need to transfer her the apartment. And he's like, oh, but they have nowhere to live. I told you they need some time to find a place. And we were both like, what? The actual... No one ever mentioned that it's not in the contract. And she was like, no, because if you would have told us, we would have included it in the contract. And then from there, we can decide either they're going to pay her rent or maybe she wouldn't even agree, so we wouldn't do the transfer. Anyway, I decided to be the bigger person. I am a very nice person in general, but this is my lesson, not to be nice to strangers because you never know. So I told them, how much time do you need? And then, because I was not communicating with them directly, we were communicating through our brokers. So he said, oh, they need like 2 weeks, but I'll try to push them and get it done in 10 days. And I'm traveling all the time. I said, listen, 10 days is fine. I'm not in a rush. It's okay. Take your time, find the place and move out. Next thing you know, 10 days pass. So we text the broker tomorrow at 1 p.m. She's coming for the keys. I am coming here to take the keys. He never replied. So I started thinking something's really wrong. I got annoyed that he's not replying to my broker. So I took the owner's number, the previous owner's number, and I started texting them. And until then, he was telling me they don't speak any English, he's translating for them, blah, 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 which was a lie because the moment I texted him, he started texting me super fast in English. I don't know if he was using Google Translate, but it was really fast. So he started getting annoyed and kind of aggressive towards me. I said, listen, your broker is not replying. I just wanted to let you know tomorrow I'm coming for the keys because it's already been 11 days. And he's like, no, what do you mean? We waited for you for so long and now you want to kick us out. We have nowhere to live. I don't have money. I don't have electricity. I was like, whoa, 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 just wait. First of all, how is this my problem? Second of all, you never said you needed time. I gave you 10 days and now it's 11 days later. Mind you, 10 days free of charge because they don't have money. So I felt bad. It's been 11 days and you're trying to attack me for trying to get to my property that you've been living in for free for 10 days, 11 days, whatever. So I started getting annoyed. And then we started sending messages. He started threatening me, he's gonna call police. I said, oh, please do that, because if the police comes, it is my property and you are staying illegally in it. Okay? I wouldn't actually call police, I can handle things myself. I just didn't wanna go through this, if you know what I mean. So what happened is we were exchanging texts the whole day, and I told him, listen, I'm giving you time until tomorrow. I am coming with security and police if needed at 5 p.m. to get my keys. He texted me a few other things that I don't remember. However, I was not replying, and I think this made him realize I'm absolutely serious. In the meantime, he was sending me these videos of the new apartment they rented. It's in the same building, just further down, another entrance. That they have no electricity, that they still have all their stuff here. I'm like, again, how is this my problem? Why are you blaming me for you not being able to organize your stuff? Anyway, after we were fighting, I told him, listen, because I had a check from him, like a security deposit for the service charges I paid for them. And I was not supposed to cash this check. However, because I was so annoyed, I told him, if you don't pay me cash for the 3 days that you overstayed, on top of the 10 days that I gave you for free, I will cash out the check, take whatever you owe me, and then I'll give you back the rest. Which, oh my God, he was fuming. He got so pissed for what I said. He started threatening me, you're not allowed to cash out the check, this and that, I'll call police. I was like, do whatever you want. You are not right in this situation, so do whatever you want. However, I come next day, I'm super annoyed already, it's been 2 days of me and him fighting. I come here, the door is open, there is a cleaner, he called a cleaner, at least that, and he starts laughing at me and like hugging me and trying to speak in English like, oh, why would we go through this, let's be friends, we're moving next door. And I'm staring at him, I was like literally so pissed for those 2 days. I'm like, are you serious? And he was like, oh, just give me back my check and I'm giving you the keys and that's it. And I'm like, no, I'm not giving you the check. You either pay cash or I'm cashing out the check. That's the two options. He started laughing again and he's thinking I'm joking because I'm a girl, because I'm blonde, because I'm on my own. But me, coming from the Balkans, I don't do that. I'm fully capable of doing everything a man can do on my own. So next thing you know, he's still laughing at the door, thinking, oh, it's all jokes. And I'm just standing there, I'm looking at him, I'm like, do I look like I'm joking? So I think that's the point where he realized it's not gonna work. So he gave me the cash, I gave him the check, and I was like, see you at the gym, because it's a mutual gym for all the buildings. But honestly, now I'm laughing, but for those 2 days, I was so pissed. Even my brother, because I was texting him non-stop, he was like, do you want me to get a plane ticket and come? I was like, I don't need help. You know me. You know the way we were raised. I can handle it myself. I'm just pissed at myself for being nice to people who don't deserve it. So, moral of the story, please put it in writing if you're planning to do something nice for anyone you don't know and you don't trust. I have trust issues, but I am a nice person, so I still decided to help. Don't do it. Or if you're gonna do it, put it in writing, put the terms, and if they don't follow, you get compensated. So yeah, that's my experience with buying a property. Overall was amazing because of my broker. So if you are planning to buy, if you're looking for a broker, I would be more than happy to help you. I guarantee she will find you your dream home or your dream rental property and you'll be very happy. Let me know if you have any questions. I would love to answer it. Share your experience as well if you've had different experience or similar experience. And I'll see you in the next one.